All right, so here is your foldable from today. I scanned in this picture. It kind of looks like this because I wanted it to lay flat so that you could see what was written on the inside. So this is going to look a little differently because it's in color, but it's the same material on the inside. All right, so on Earth, when we talk about elements, there are 4 spheres or 4 components of Earth that we can find elements in. So the first one is hydrosphere. So hydro means water. So when we talk about the hydrosphere, we're talking about all of Earth's water. So the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, even technically the water droplets in the air and the groundwater. So any water that is in existence on Earth or within Earth's atmosphere is going to be included in the hydrosphere. Now, these are not the only 2 elements, but it's the majority of them. There can be little traces of other elements there, but it's mostly oxygen and hydrogen, which makes sense if you think H2O, that's water. All right, then you have the lithosphere, and I underline the L because lithosphere is land. And I drew some little mountains here. I know, I'm an artist, right? So lithosphere means land. So Earth's crust. So that's going to include all the soil, all the sandy beaches, mountains, the seafloor even. Because even though it's underwater, it's technically still part of Earth's crust. It just happens to be underwater. So all of Earth's land is included in the lithosphere. And it's made of elements as well. So these are just the top ones that make up the greatest percentage of Earth's crust or the land, the lithosphere. And so you can see once again, what's the top one is oxygen. And then interestingly enough, silicon. Okay, the next sphere is called the biosphere. And we've learned earlier that bio means life. So the biosphere is all of Earth's living things. Okay, so this includes plants, animals, humans, all those living things, etc. You know, the fungi and everything, okay? So all living matter will be included in the biosphere. Once again, the majority of these living things are made or have oxygen elements in them. All right, and then the last sphere is the atmosphere, and I underline the A because atmosphere is the air that is surrounding Earth. Now, this one's a little interesting. So in all 3 of these spheres, the water, the land, and the living things, the number 1 most abundant or common element was oxygen. But look here, in the atmosphere, oxygen is not the most abundant element. It's actually nitrogen. So this is kind of interesting because we breathe in oxygen, right? So you would think that most of our atmosphere is oxygen, but in fact, it is not. All right, so you will see some questions in some other places, and we'll do some things with these spheres, but just be aware that that's them.